confidence inside of them, feeling good about their body, but not within just their body, but within themselves. Knowing that they can walk through life feeling like the most confident woman ever, like with fire as it bursts out of it.
Right?
100%, yeah.
And that's why our jobs are complicated.
And it's a very satisfying though, too.
Very.
Always be there with you and to work 100% with everything that they have to make it happen.
And I think many people, and we've always been focused on this all or nothing, success or no success, win or lose, fail or succeed. Like that, if you look at life journey and how long we're going to be here for, like we have so much medicine and technology and now opportunity of whole food, which we're getting more educated on. We have longevity. And I'm like you, I'm a quality of life, and we have a long time to figure it out. It's a journey.
100%.
Right. And I don't think there's any fail anymore. I'm just not a person of
Failure.
That people come and go out of journeys, right? There's some people, I've had clients for 20 or 30 years. I've had clients for 5 years and then don't see them for 5 years. And all of a sudden they're like, hey, you still working out? I'm like, let's go.
Yeah. You've got to do that. It's a lifestyle journey. It's no matter what age you're at, you need to continue with that lifestyle journey because your body needs that for the full. I always compare it to a car, actually. I say, hey, look, you can take a car, you can wax it, you can make it look good, you can clean it. But if you don't give it gas, you don't get the oil change, you don't go and get maintenance done, that car's going to sit looking beautiful, baby, but not going to move.
It's not going to move.
No.
And as much as we are personal trainers and we want everybody in the world to move is our thing. You've seen, I'm sure you've seen us both online doing our move stuff. We believe in that 100%. What we do understand 100% is what goes in is the energy that you're putting out.
100%.
The talk today is on sugar and habits. And I think because you have such a deep background in it, not only from a self journey, from clients, from everything that you've done, and kids, family. Yeah. We've all had those challenges raising family. I'd like to really dive into the habits.
Yes.
So as a sugar topic or as a carb, however you want to know it, as you and I both know it scientifically and as a consumer term, we do understand that sugar is a habit.
100% since we've been born, right? You think about it.
That's so easily.
You are born with a blank canvas. You're not a sugar addict at the moment that you're born. There's nothing there. What do? You're just drinking milk from your mother's breasts, or you're getting formula, whatever the situation is. You are just drinking milk. Then what happens? Then you start to eat. Who introduces all this sugar to you? Who introduces the ice cream and the cookies and the beautiful snacky stuff? You get that on that little trigger in the mouth. The canvas is now getting painted. It's getting painted by who? By your family members, by the way that you live, the way that you grow up, the way that you eat. I'm going to be a culprit for this. I'm a mom. My kids love their sugar, right? And they love their desserts at night and watching a movie and eating, and those little habits that we form are all with your family, your culture, your beautiful ceremonies. You continue to do all of that.
Your work. Yeah. You sit at work, you have certain scheduled times that you sit down, and we tend to get in these habits of taking these certain meals or doing these certain things. Everything in our life seems to be this little habit thing.
And it's like the same thing that happens every single day. You wake up the same day, the same way. You look at your phone the same way. You meet the same people. You go and do the same things. You go to work. You drive to work. Our life has become this repetition of the same thing over and over and over again. And if you don't make those changes in your life, like sugar or the way that you eat or the way that you live, you're never going to be able to understand what your body actually needs to survive the long road. And I think that's where this comes in when you talk about habits.
The key is, so that leads me to a question for you. And you don't know I'm going to even ask this question. As a parent, I cannot tell you how guilty I have felt many times. And I'm like, for those that don't know, I have a son and he's going into 5th year university. He is a basketball player at university. Have I fed him sugar? Oh yeah. Have we been on the road?
Yeah.
Have I felt guilty I think the number one thing for me when I fed him sugar, because I had the knowledge, I felt really guilty about it, but I felt more pressure from society to just go with the flow with what everybody was doing than to go my own way. I'd rather take the guilt pressure of feeding him sugar than the guilt pressure of everybody going, oh, you're doing that, you're not with the group.
Yeah.
How do we get our children to, and us as parents, to be okay, say, eating 80-20?
80-20 rule. I love that rule. So this is
We have
what,
habits, but we have to be okay.
yeah, we have to be okay, but it's so hard when you have kids. And that's the biggest problem, is because they want it all the time. And how do you keep saying, no, 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 you can't have it today. No, you can't do this today. No, we don't do this. So after a while, I've seen my kids wanting sugar every single, it's like this addiction you have, right? Like cocaine, it's an addiction. It's like the moment you have sugar, your brain continues to want this particular substance all the time. And how do you stop doing that? It's another problem with even binge eating, you know, like a lot of people will just go and grab that chocolate or that candy or just something to pop in their mouth that gives them that rush of energy of sugar, but then crushes you right at the end.
Right at the end.
So what do? I 80% of the time when we're at home, we will eat the most nutritious food as possible. I'm cooking.
Right.
I'm making sure that they're getting their proper meals when it comes to breakfast, their lunch. I give them a little bit of lunchtime, the little cookies or whatever. Coming home, we have our dinner. We're set. We're good to go. But when we go out, let's just say we go to a family's house or we go to a cousin's home. Now, I can't say no, no, no at that moment. It's like, hey, guys, you know what? When we are going out, why don't we indulge? Enjoy the food, enjoy the cake, enjoy whatever, the ice cream or whatever they give to you. But the moment we get back home, it's our 80% rule. And this is what I love about them, because yes, we still continue to eat the foods we love, and I still give them the foods they love. But when it comes to pure energy of sugar, I will at some point will say, no, we can't do it here today. But then I give them a few days in other times to say, okay, you know what, today is the dessert day or today is a candy day. But I've also heard parents say the different approach to this. Some parents will say, I'll just let them have whatever they want, as much as they want. Eventually, they will get sick of it. Eventually, they will get sick of it and not have it again. I've not tried that yet.
Okay, so let's feed into that. If that is the knowledge that's out there, do you want to look at the statistics?
I've tried it.
It doesn't.
It doesn't work.
We can't win that battle. There's no winning that battle. We can say it to ourselves and we can say we're okay, and they'll eventually learn. First, their children.
It doesn't work. They continue to have that, and they're like, oh, mommy says I can have it anytime. And it's more like breakfast candy, lunch candy, and it's like, how much longer?
And they don't even have your influence to say it anymore. And you've just taught them these habits.
And I don't know where is the no on here. I don't like to say no, but then what next, right? That was my other issue. Let me talk to you a little bit about me growing up. My parents never said no to me about having candy or sugar or ice cream. They just continued to say, okay, we're going for a walk. We would go for a walk. I would go into the grocery store. I would grab a nice ice cream. Never did my parents say no to me about it, which I think was kind of okay because I grew up like that. But then here's one thing. I never understood nutrition. None of my family members understood how to eat. I went to a doctor and I said, I want to lose weight. You know what he said to me? Take a burger, take the bun off the burger, and have 2 tablespoons of rice, and that's it. And I sat there like, what? Well, what is that? Well, what kind of food is that? Like, I still don't understand nutrition until I think it was just recently, Kim, that I was able to sit down and analyze my life and say, what the hell have I been doing to myself? That not only was I depressed, not only did I go through postpartum depression because of my brain, like not having the right nutrients, not only did I almost lose all my hair, not only was I vitamin D and deficient, iron deficient, to the point where I sat down thinking, if I don't start putting nutrition foods into my body, understanding that I need to take care of me, to the point where now I get my brain's working now. I have my hair. I'm able to say I have vitamin D, perfectly fine in my body because I take it every single day. My iron has gotten so much better. And today I'm taking care of what I'm eating. I understand the food that my body needs. I lost another 10 pounds after I've seen you in such a long time. I feel good inside and confident.
There's so many things going on.
Life is just so much more different.
We can't explain it. It's so hard. People have asked me my whole life. As a teacher who certifies fitness professionals, people have said to me, have you tried this diet? I'm going to be honest. And I've said this to everybody. I've never been on a diet a day in my life.
I forgot what diet even stands for.
I don't eat, like, I've tried different eating methodologies. Like, I've tried different protein eating methodologies. I've tried going more green than I have red. I just try different things throughout my journey in life. Never actually been on any diet. And I look back at it and I'm thinking, it's just, we've called them these things, but I don't really think they're even backwards. Like, they're just creating habits.
Whatever you do, you make it into a habit. It's a repetition that it depends on how you eat right now. So let's just say you're one of those ladies, that come into your home and you're having, if you're that kind of person where you just dig and eat and eat and eat, that's just a habit you have created with your body that your body now remembers every single day. And your brain says, okay, it's time to binge eat. And you just do it as a habit. You don't even realize it.
You don't even realize you're doing it. They become autonomic. At first, and the 3 stages of learning, you know it. You look at something and you go, what is that? The second stage of learning is, I know that. The third stage of learning is,
I do it.
When you get to that third stage of learning on anything and it becomes autonomic, be very certain of what your habits are on automatic all times, because life is agile, it's flexible, it changes, and we need to be aware of that automatic. So when we create these habits, as we go through as parents, we give them to our kids, we see where the influence is, the high school changes that. We've already said it, your parents said it, mine said it, authenticity here. Pepsi and Oreos were a great thing that my parents fed us for lunch when we came home from school. I have a different siblings going on in mine. I'm the sibling that doesn't do that. Why? I didn't feel good. I was always a mover out of all the siblings. And because I was moving and eating this, I didn't feel good. So I started, as other parents were around and doing other things, I learned on my own. I also started cooking when I was 6 years old.
Yes.
That was key.
That was amazing.
I just couldn't eat the food. I didn't know what it was. I didn't know. Everybody else went with it. So maybe that's just my body never ever wanted to do that. And I've always had the people coming to me and going, what are you doing? What's your habits? I'm like, I don't know. I've just always cooked.
I think that's the key. We're forgetting how to cook. That's another problem too. A lot of women that come to me saying, I don't have time. I have kids. I need something simple and I don't want to end up cooking so much because I don't have time for that. And it's like, okay, well, let's make things simple now. How do we make things simple?
There has to be a compromise. Could you give 3 good habits that you would start in nutrition? What are 3 good habits?
One of the biggest habits I would start is water intake.
100%.
Yeah.
Water starts everything. Your body is water, air, water.
Yeah.
Without it, we have no oxygen. Good call. Water's it.
Water is one of the first things I would tell people to understand is when you start to drink your water, I believe very strongly, continue to drink water all day long. Your binge eating will stop and your sugar cravings will just go down.
Yeah. Your body is confused when your blood gets thick and it doesn't move through your body consistently. It gets confused on the messages because it can't go to the peak points. So it can't pump as well from the toes to the head. And your brain's like, I'm waiting, and it's not coming. Yeah. So that's a really good point.
Yeah.
Right. What's another good point?
Another good point is start to eliminate some of your sugar intakes. And then one of the biggest sugar intakes that come in is your simple carbs. I think if you start removing that slowly out of your plates, like start thinking instead of bread, have maybe yams or sweet potato or potatoes, maybe think something different for your carbs. Think more complex carbs and removing the simple carbs out of your plates and see how that works.
Breads get a rap because they're ultra processed. So many of them. There's a lot that aren't, but we have for so long been under ultra processed bread. And people are like, bread's not bad. everything's bad in a certain form, or it's not advantageous, it's not nutrient bound.
It's actually, if you think about it this way, so think of bread and let's look at yams, the difference between it and how your body's going to actually understand it. Now, with bread, you've actually taken wheat off the ground and then you've actually taken to mills. And then after it breaks down, it goes to another mill and breaks down even more to the point you get this really nice flour, like consistence, right? Use that flour into anything. And now your body's going to take it and say, oh, I know this. I get this. Okay, I don't need to fire up. I already know what nutrients I need. Done. I just sit back and I relax. It's all gone. That's how your body thinks in simplest form. Now take yams, eat those yams. Your body has to fire up inside of there to really get all the nutrients. Why? Because it's never been broken down. Your body, your mouth is breaking it down. Now you're swallowing it. Now your enzyme has to really work hard to break it down. Your nutrients has to be found with your metabolism, with your hormones. And then the glucose level does not rise with a yam compared to having a bread. It's like, I know that. I've got that insulin done.
Fiber.
There's another, they tell you eat more fiber. That's your bread. No, you know what your fiber is? That's your third best thing about nutrition.
Right.
Greens, lots of greens, broccoli, cauliflower, your, I love broccolini. I call it broccolini. I love broccolini, one of my favorites. Spinach, kale,
so many
get
cooking
your
methodologies
greens in there.
and
Oh my
flavors.
God, like where are we going wrong with our greens? I guarantee you, anyone listening to this, how many greens do you guys put on your plate? Look at the society now. When you talk about habits,
it's something green and go no.
you talk about habits, you give your children, you make lasagna, you cut up a lasagna, you give that to them. Now, where is there greens in there? There's probably not even enough greens in that sauce.
I'm like, oh, there was asparagus. I'm like, we can cook that in the sauce.
Yeah. Right. Well, there you go. Like those are little things that you think about. Okay, let's say a rice or being Asian or brown, I would say we like to pilau or like some kind of rice. What do? They take the whole rice, put the whole rice into the plate. They take like tablespoons and like, I would say probably 2 cups of it on a plate, and then they would eat that. Where is my greens in there? Where is my proper protein in there? This is problematic with a lot of issues when it comes to habits. We have been brought up to have food while we're celebrating, while there's a funeral.
Every event.
I just had breakfast. Oh, but now we're going to have brunch at family's house. Okay, we're going to go have brunch now. I can't eat. I'm kind of bloated. Still have a dessert. You continue to not listen to your body. And why do you think we're having problems? Because did you know that our body talks to us?
Mine talks to me. I'm trying not to answer.
It tells you have a pain. There is a reason. It's giving you a clue what's going on. You're hungry. Your hormones are working. You're full. You're probably overeaten. Stop eating. Get some water. That's one of my biggest problems right now is women are not listening to their bodies. And then this continues to happen. Your hormones stop working properly. And then this is where our habits tend to happen. We continue to eat like this. We get overweight. We have way too much fat in our body, which a lot of people think right now in this society is okay to have. Mm-hmm. So now they're saying, oh, it's okay the way you look. You should live that way and be happy with the way you look and keep eating the foods you're eating. And we're forgetting that too much fat is actually not a very good thing to have in your body. It
affects your health.
And I have to keep going on with this, but I don't want to keep going. But this is where I talk about when it comes to sugar, your water intake, your greens, your protein. You need these things in your body. Please don't remove carbs out of your body. You think carbs, people are like, I want to lose weight, remove carbs. No, please don't do that. You need
So one thing you said that triggered me was about, I said at first was about the bread and she came back to it. So she said something that was really key and it made me step back. We'll go back old days. We made bread.
Yes.
We took it when it grew it. We took it, Now what we do is instead of our bodies processing it, machinery is processing it on our behalf and taking away half or 3/4 of the job of what the body is supposed to do. Yeah. So when the body doesn't have a job to do and a processing plant is doing it, and then you put whole foods into it, people say, well, this doesn't agree with me and that doesn't agree with me. I'm like, because your processing plant has been on the outside for too long, and I need you to bring it back inside.
Yeah.
We need our processing plants to be inside, not outside.
Not outside.
Ultra processed food, the more processing plants doing it, the more process comes to you, and then the term ultra comes in the fact.
Yes.
Whereas white bread comes from, and that's why bread gets a bad rap. It's been pulled back so far in the processing that your body does not need to do anything to get it from point A to point D.
Yeah.
That's a problem because it has no job.
No, but then this is where your 80-20% rule comes in.
Yeah, right.
Right.
If it knows what it's doing, you can just throw it off once in a while and it bounces back.
Yeah. It's like talking the language, right? We're giving our body the language it understands. So this is why we're here. We're here to eat what's whole out of this world. This is why we are here. Our human body needs that. Just like I'm talking English with you. If I spoke my language and gave you just a little bit of like, said something to you, you would just be like, oh, okay, and throw it off and be like, okay, no problem. Like, whatever, it's all done, right? Or I said like, hola, you'd be like, okay, like whatever, you know, you kind of like throw it off. A few words here and there, few of those fun, amazing meals that you're looking at, once in a while, you throw it into your body. Your body's very forgiving in that little amount of time.
It is.
But when you go back to that 80% and just start eating the right ways and still give you that self, that 20%, which you're not taking away, your body's going to love you for it.
Right. All we're taking away is things like ultra, extreme.
Yeah.
And we're in this situation because we have roles that we didn't have previously. And as long as we are going to have in units, whether they're family, however you look at your family unit, that the unit has to be cared for and guided, and whatever's guiding those units, generations. My mom worked a lot, all the time, and she broke early because she broke early. She actually had a nervous breakdown and she broke early. And I started cooking at 6 for 3 older siblings. So you see how as we move forward in society and the demands get more on the unit, all of us, not on the people giving birth, not on the people babysitting, not on people caregiving, not on the people cooking food. It is complicated. Society is complicated. And we've got extreme everywhere. And our food is really hard to focus on when healthy food becomes expensive. So I like to give my people tips. It's like, if you're going to walk into Safeway, save on food someplace, grab the cut fruit and vegetables instead of going down the inside aisle. And love that. And they're like, that's really expensive. And I'm like, so is pharmaceutical. So is feeling unhealthy.
Yeah.
You literally have to make the conscious choice. I don't care if it's dip, to pick up the vegetables in the dip as opposed to the snack bag.
Yeah.
It's just a click. You have to get to there, right?
Everyone's looking for that diet magic pill. And we
talk about this. We don't actually believe that diets are bad.
No, they're not.
Because they take out the one thing we all want taken out.
Yeah, sugar.
Right? I'm sure.
Yeah.
Say, but the diet doesn't have this, it doesn't have this. The one thing all diets do have in common is they take out ultra processed food and sugar and probably some form of fat as well. They drop it down usually in some form of fat. And then people will come to us. Keto's always been a very argumentative 50-50 on it. But you know why? It's because it's the first time other than the Atkinsons in history, people came at you with protein first.
Yeah. I don't think keto's a bad thing. I think keto has it right. They have the right amount of information. I think the amount of carbs that they're telling you can eat, it has to be less than 30 grams, which is fine. It's understandable, but just add 30 more grams to it. 30 grams on each plate. You're good to go.
I have energy days where I'm doing nothing on a beach and I'm like, just don't eat like that, Kim.
Yeah.
And I don't feel like eating like that. No. But that comes to the 80-20 rule and creating the habit.
Yes.
And the water.
Yeah.
Water. I'm always walking around with 100% water. Yeah, all the time. Well, thank you for doing the interview with me and for going over information. Where can we find you?
So many places.
I know.
I have a website called www.nishmakarim.com. You can also just meet me on Fit _inspired mama on Instagram, or on my Facebook. Now I have a business page. Yay. It's called Change Your Ways, Change Your Life. And I will give that all to you.
Change your ways, change your life. Your ways are going to change all the time, and so is your life.
Yeah.
Right? It is just a journey.
Yeah, it is just a journey.
Awesome. So, and I watch her. Okay, she's got good workout reels. She's got good motivation. She's very centered.
Thank you.
I find herself very centered. And Kim Bond here, True Northwest Academy. Find me on Facebook, find me up on Instagram. I'm doing my Unsugar program, but it was great to talk to you today. And thank you for doing the interview. Hopefully you'll get something out of this. You know how to contact either of us.
100%.
And thank you for watching our video, and see you out in the internet world and online from online.